Hey, this is Troy Taylor with the Championship Football Coaches Clinic Podcast, and this is answering specific questions. This is the third question we've done tonight, and this is when you take a head football coaching job in high school, what if the former head coach is still in the building? So the question is, what do you do if the guy that used to be the head coach is still in the building? So my first head coaching job I got at Amelia County High School, and the former head coach was not in the building, but the guy who had pretty much been the head coach, the interim head coach, the guy who thought he was going to be the head coach, was still in the building. And how can you handle that? So in that particular situation, the way I handled that was, I pretty much just went up to the guy and introduced myself. I said, "Hey, I'm Troy Taylor. I'm the new head football coach, and I understand that you coached and that you had applied to be the head football coach, and I'm sorry you didn't get the job, but I want to do what's best for the school. I want to do what's best for these kids." And I said hi to the guy. I said bye to the guy. I never heard anything that the guy was trying to do to undermine me. And I think it probably is easier if it's a coach that players didn't respect or didn't listen to. It would probably be harder if it would be a guy who players respected and players listened to, and a coach that had influence. So, my next head coaching job after I left Amelia, I went to Meadowbrook and took over for Coach Bowles, who's state championship winning coach. I was one of his assistant coaches. I was a part of, rebuilding that program, and he was still in the building. And, I leaned on him because, but me and Coach Bowles, we wanted what was best for that school, that program, and those kids. So, I always paid Coach Bowles respect. He always gave me respect, but, I leaned on him and I asked him questions. It was only my second year being a head coach when I went back there in 2009. And then when I went to Bird, Coach Bedwell was the AD. So he hired me to come back there to be the head coach. And, we used to talk every single day. I used to go in there during lunch and, we talk about football and, what he thought about this and that. And, he was a great mentor. So, the experiences that I've had have been positive when, the former head coach was still in the building. There are situations where that coach is toxic and that coach is, trying to undermine or, bring on dissent to the program. I've never had to deal with that, but I'm pretty sure I've had to deal with it, but not with the head coach. So the one thing, I think it goes back to the original video we did, communication. To have an open line of communication with that person and, let them know that, you understand they were the head coach and that you respect them and the job that they did and you appreciate that. And, you hope for their support and, you want what's best for that school and those kids and those players. And, if that person is still in that building, they should want what's best for that school and those players and that program. And if they're not, that's probably a conversation that you should have with your administration that, hey, I'm all in with this school and this community and these kids, and I want what's best for them. And we want to be successful. And open line of communication, AD, principal. I don't think that, it's not your job as the head coach to determine who teaches in the building, but, open line of communication, you need to let your administration know what you've heard or what you've seen. And if it's toxic, then that person, they probably need to go somewhere else. But that's not your job as the head football coach. You can just make suggestions or, communicate with your administration, and it's up to the administration to make stuff happen. So, if they make stuff happen, then that's support. And if they don't make stuff happen, then that's not support. So if you're the head coach at a school that doesn't support you, you'll know it. You'll know it very, very quick. And you don't know that you don't have support until you don't have it. And once you don't have it, you know how important it is. You got to have support. So what if the former head football coach is still in the building? Is that person on the same page? Do they have the same mission and vision of that school and of that principal and that administration? If they're on the same page and they want what's best for those kids in that school and that program, then I'm good. But if that person is toxic and that person is hurting that mission and that vision of that school, all you can do is communicate with your administration. And the old saying is keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. I don't know if I particularly believe in that. But I try to treat everybody with respect. But, as a head football coach, you're going to have enough issues to deal with. And there's an old saying, everybody wants to be the head coach until they're the head coach. So, I hope I answered that. I've had fun doing this. It's got my blood pressure up. It's really been testing me. It's like an interview. So this is Hey Coach, and we'll be doing more of these, but thank y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe to Totem Pole Nation.